South Africa, when politicians can organize buses, banners, and crowds overnight, but can't organize jobs, safety, or working municipalities, you must ask yourself, who is this show really for? ANC and alliance partners march to the Constitutional Court, justice or political survival? What's good, Mzansi? Today we're talking about a political moment that has people across the country divided, angry, and asking serious questions. The ANC and its alliance partners march to the Constitutional Court. Big crowd. Big speeches. Big cameras. Big promises. But behind all the slogans and headlines, many South Africans are asking something simple. Is this about protecting democracy or protecting power? Because let's be honest now. We've seen these moments before. When elections are near, when pressure is rising, when trust is falling, suddenly the people who are quiet become loud. Suddenly the people who moved slowly become urgent. Suddenly there is energy. But where is that same energy when communities have no water? Where is that same energy when graduates sit at home with no jobs? Where is that same energy when crime destroys families? Where is that same energy when corruption cases drag on forever? Today we are unpacking the real meaning behind this march, the power games involved, what it says about the ANC and its alliance partners, and most importantly, what it means for ordinary South Africans trying to survive. Stay until the end, because this one needs honesty, not slogans. So let's start with the basics. The ANC, together with alliance partners, staged a march to the Constitutional Court. Supporters gathered in numbers. Flags were raised. Songs were sung. Leaders gave speeches. The message presented to the public was that they were standing for constitutional values, democracy, and justice. Now on paper, that sounds noble. Any democracy needs institutions. Any country needs courts that are respected. Any society needs leaders who understand the Constitution matters. But in politics, we don't just look at what is said. We look at timing. We look at motive. We look at consistency. We look at history. And that's where things become interesting. Because ordinary South Africans have learned the hard way that public political actions are often about more than the official explanation. Sometimes a march is a message. Sometimes a march is a warning. Sometimes a march is campaign material. Sometimes a march is damage control. That's why people are skeptical. Not because they hate democracy. Not because they hate institutions. But because they've seen too much. They've seen promises made and broken. They've seen outrage appear only when convenient. They've seen leaders become active only when power feels threatened. So yes, the march happened. But the real story is not the road they walked. The real story is why they walked it now. This march is about narrative. Politics today is not only fought in parliament. It's fought in the media, on social media, in public perception, and in symbolism. When a party faces criticism, it needs to change the conversation. When people are angry about unemployment, corruption, weak services, and internal divisions, a dramatic public action can shift attention. Instead of talking about failures, now everyone talks about the march. Instead of asking about broken municipalities, now everyone debates legal principles. Instead of discussing factional battles, now cameras capture unity. That is not accidental. That is strategy. And the ANC knows this game well. It has decades of political experience. It understands symbols. It understands liberation history. It understands how to frame itself as the defender of democracy. But there is a growing problem. The public is more skeptical than before. Many voters, especially young voters, do not respond automatically to old political theater. They want results. They're asking, can symbolism create jobs? Can speeches reduce crime? Can marches fix potholes? Can banners restore trust? And if the answer is no, then these moments risk backfiring. Because what was meant to look powerful can start to look disconnected. What was meant to show leadership can start to feel like performance. That's the danger. Because this isn't just about the ANC. It's also about the broader political family around it. Alliance politics has always been complex. On one side, partners provide support, mobilization, legitimacy, and historical continuity. On the other side, they also bring pressure, competing agendas, and internal tension. So when alliance partners join a march like this, it sends a message of collective force. It says, we are still together. We still have influence. But again, the public asks another question. Together for what? Together to fight unemployment? Together to reform failing municipalities? Together to stop cadre deployment problems? Together to clean up corruption? Together to improve education and healthcare? Or together only when political interests align? That's the challenge facing alliance politics today. Unity by itself is not enough. If people are suffering, unity without delivery feels empty. And many South Africans feel exactly that. They don't care who stands next to who on stage. They care whether their lives improve. Now let's zoom out. Because this march is happening inside a country dealing with deep pain. Millions are struggling to find work. Young people finish school or university and then sit at home for years. Families depend on one income, grants, or informal hustle. For them, political pageantry feels distant. Many communities live with fear. Hijackings, robberies, gender-based violence, drug networks, street crime. People want safety, not speeches. In too many places, basic services are unreliable. Water cuts. Refuse not collected. Roads collapsing. Sewer problems. Poor maintenance. Citizens ask, if government can organize national marches, why can't it organize local competence? Food prices rise. Transport costs rise. Electricity costs rise. The ordinary worker is squeezed from every side. This one is serious. Once people stop believing leaders mean what they say, every future message becomes harder to sell. Trust is expensive to rebuild. And many believe it has already been damaged badly. That's why moments like this march don't happen in a vacuum. They happen in a country where patience is thing defending institutions selectively. That inconsistency doesn't go unnoticed. Urgency for politics, delay for people. When there is internal political danger, responses can be fast. When communities need housing, jobs, or infrastructure, responses can take years. People see that difference. Unity outside, faction battles inside. Publicly, smiles, solidarity, slogans. Privately, leadership contests, strategy fights, succession plans, competing interests. This is common in politics, but voters are more aware now. Revolutionary language, administrative weakness. Strong words are easy. Running municipalities properly is harder. People increasingly judge leaders by governance. If leaders spend more time on optics than outcomes, reforms slow down. Investment confidence weakens. Public frustration rises. Young people disengage. Communities lose hope. Polarization grows. And when citizens lose faith, dangerous things happen. Some stop voting. That weakens democracy for everyone. So yes, this matters. Not because of one march. Because it reflects the relationship between power and the people. So what's the verdict? The march may have legal meaning. It may have symbolic meaning. It may energize supporters. But symbolism alone is no longer enough in South Africa. The country is demanding proof. Proof in jobs. Proof in safer. Proof in accountability. The ANC and its alliance partners can still shape the future, but only if they understand one thing. South Africans are no longer impressed by movement without progress. Walking to court is easy. Turning the country around is the real march. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your views in the comments. If you want fearless analysis, real talk, and no political sugarcoating, like the video, share it with your people, and subscribe.